So I have this really, really difficult problem in my business right now that I'm going to share with you today. And my thought process of why I'm choosing to not pivot, which is the easy route, and stay the course. And by making a series of small tweaks and focusing on solving this one problem, that my business will expand. Okay, so let's get first into what the problem is. And a lot of you know that I have two communities on school. I have a free community and I have a paid community, W2 Prison Break Nation. And I've spent a lot of time on both communities, like putting the strategy together, like building them out, like building the classrooms out. You have to drive traffic to the communities, you have to convert. Like I've spent a lot of time putting this together. I put together the classrooms, there's courses in there. We make posts and I have calls in both of the communities depending on which one you're in. And my biggest problem right now, and I'll just back up a minute, prior to the problem that I have right now, which is conversion and engagement and conversion, they're kind of like connected. Prior to that, I had the free community, but I couldn't get anybody to join the community. So I was running ads and I had to tweak the ads. I had to make sure that the messaging was reaching the right people. So I was tweaking like the copy, the audiences, the creatives. And I easily could have just been like, hey, Facebook ads don't work. Well, they do work. They get shown to people. I had to make sure they were getting shown to the right people and that the messaging was there. So once I figured that out, then people started coming to the group. Like I added 170 members in the free community in the last 30 days. Like I'm pretty happy with that. And my cost per lead went from $20 per lead in the beginning. So for me to get somebody in the free community, it was costing me $20. Like that's not good. I got it all the way down to about $5 now. I'm pretty happy about that. I can get it lower and I want to get it lower, but I could have easily at the $20 mark after a week just been like, oh, this doesn't work. I give up. I'm quitting. I didn't. I made some changes, some small tweaks. Instead of pivoting completely and doing something else, I just said, all right, I just need to make this work. I need to figure this out. I need to solve this hard problem, which is how do I get this stuff shown to the right people and then for them to click on and join the community. So that problem is mostly solved. Like I've got that going pretty well. Now, the big problem I have is the members that are in the free community. And I've got about 230 in there at the time of this recording, which again, I'm very grateful for and very happy about because a month ago I had like 30, is getting them to engage. So they'll sign up, right? They'll sign up to the community and they get a message. I send them an auto DM, which I'm probably rethinking that. I'm rethinking everything, an auto DM, and then they get prompted on what to do. Like I'll send them an email like, hey, go here, watch the Start Here course, do these like two or three things, book your call with me, and I'll help you launch your business, right? I'll get on the phone call with you and we'll start working towards your goals. Very few people are doing that, are taking that action. It's been something that I've been working on for weeks, guys. Like I'm telling you, like this is the stuff that's keeping me up at night. It's like, how do I crack this code? On my iMac, the first post-it note that I have, and I have several that remind me of stuff and serve as motivation, it says, what is the biggest bottleneck in my business right now? That's it. That is the biggest bottleneck. Like the water is all backed up in the gasket right there. And if I can just simply solve this problem, the floodgates will open. But it's a hard problem to solve. I don't have the answer. And I spend the majority of my day, my time, trying to crack this nut, trying to figure this out, because I know that if I can solve this problem and people start showing up in the community and showing up and converting to calls and they start going through the course material, which will actually help them, and they start getting some wins and results, like the floodgates will open. They'll convert to the paid group. They'll tell other people about my free community. And then this machine will start to, that I've built, like all this time that I've spent, it'll start to produce results. And I know it will. But here's the difference between my mindset between now and previous to me starting a business is I would have already given up. I would have already pivoted. Like I would have already said, well, that didn't work. this doesn't work, business doesn't work, or that side hustle doesn't work, I'm going to pivot, I'm going to do something else. And every time you do that, it is so painful to your progress. It's so detrimental to your progress. Like it's almost like you're going in reverse. It's like you're just turning a dial, right? And you're not really getting anywhere. Where if I make these tweaks and I like if I want you to visualize like like a line going up, and that line going up is your growth, right? If that line is not straight, like it has little tweaks in it, like little jags in it, if you will, and it's still going up, it doesn't look perfectly straight, but that's what these little small tweaks look like, which I'm making. Like, okay, all right, how do I get engagement up? Like, well, I've got to send everybody a personalized loon video, or I've got to post more, or somebody suggested, hey, start asking them questions instead of telling them stuff. And I'm like, duh, I already know that, right? But I need to be reminded of that. So I'm just looking at the visual of the line. It's like the line's going up. I'm still getting better. I'm getting closer to solving this really, really hard problem, versus pivoting, which is basically just throwing in the towel and saying like, hey, this doesn't work. This problem is too hard for me to solve. And solving the really difficult problems in your business or just in your life in general, like that I should say normally, that always opens up more opportunity for you. So when I solve this problem, it's not a matter of if, it's like when I solve this problem of the engagement and the conversion, everything that I've already done, like the leads are getting in there, like the lead flow is good. Now I have to convert. And then it's just a matter of this math problem. I just throw more gas, like I spend more money on the ads, right? And if it gets to the point where I've got too many calls, my calendar, it's like I hire somebody to help with sales. Like it's like that's the next series of problems that I'll solve. But I'm not focused on that right now. I'm focused on how do I get people to engage, and how do I get them to convert? How do I get them to show up? I know that I will solve that. But here's a couple of things that I wrote down. And I just want to let you know also that during this process, guys, like I've had a lot of doubt. Like I've had many conversations with my wife and with myself, which is like, hey, does anybody want this stuff? Does anybody want to start a business using the skills that they have from their 9 to 5 job, the stuff that they already know how to do? Like I've literally said that out loud. Does anybody want this? Like, am I charging too much money? And I'm being just completely blunt here and forthright with you guys, is that this is the stuff that I think about. Like, do I need to lower the price? Like, am I charging too much? Is like, do they want this stuff? And it's just second guessing and doubt. And I'm telling you that stuff never goes away. It's just at a different level. So you might be having doubts right now in your business or in your side hustle journey or whatever it is that you want to call it, where you're just doubting yourself. Like nobody would want to buy anything from me ever. Like I don't have any value. Like it's different, but it's the same, and it doesn't end. Now, I know that people want the stuff that I'm selling because they've signed up and they paid me for it, and they paid me to coach them one to one. But this is the type of stuff that happens when you don't solve the problem. Like when you hit adversity, when you hit this roadblock or this crossroads, and that's where I'm at right now. And I'm telling you guys, it just never goes away. Again, the difference between then and now is that I recognize it for what it is. I'm being tested. And I know that if I solve this really hard problem, that great things will happen, right? Here's here's a few things that I wrote down that hopefully will help you. It helps me, and hopefully it will help you with whatever like major problem that you're solving. The first one is people will give up. All right? I know that my competition or the other people that are trying to create school communities that are having the same problem, they will give up. It is guaranteed they will give up. And it'll be just me and maybe a handful of others standing. And then I just got to beat them. And if you don't believe that to be true, think about any time that you faced adversity and you just cashed it in, or you gave up, or you've seen other people do it. Like anytime something got hard, people just quit. They gave up, and it was like, oh, that doesn't work. Like Facebook ads don't work. Like I've heard so many people say that. And when my ads weren't working well, when I was at $20 per lead, I didn't say Facebook ads don't work, because I know they work. They get shown to people. I see them every time I open up my phone. They work. What doesn't work is your copy or your ad itself or the stuff on the other end of the ad. And that's the stuff that I fixed. And as soon as I fixed that, I went from $20 per lead down to $5 per lead. I was getting way more clicks. And as a result, yeah, the group grew to by 160 plus members in 30 days. The second piece is people need to be reminded, like a lot. And what I mean by that is all 230 members in my community need to be reminded that they're there. So I DM them, I email them, I make posts continuously. I make personalized Loom videos for them to try to just remind them, like, hey, you're here for a reason. People need to be reminded to the point where you feel like they might unfollow you or they might unsubscribe from your email list, which is totally fine. Because if they're doing that, then they're not your target customer, anyways. And some of you who have listened to this have probably unsubscribed from my email list, and that's okay. I send out a lot of emails. People need to be reminded. The last one is I only need 1,000 people to hit my target. 1,000 people. There's millions and millions and millions of people in my niche, probably tens, probably hundreds of millions that want to quit their job and start their online business. I just need to find 1,000 of them. 1,000. Now, would I take more than 1,000? Yes, I would. But that's what I need is 1,000. Okay. And right now I have 30 in my group, and getting to 1,000 doesn't seem that daunting. I have to solve this one major hurdle, this one problem. And it's one problem at a time, one major roadblock at a time, not the ones that would occur when I get to 500 members, because that's going to be a different set of problems. I'm not even thinking about that right now because it's not here. And that's the mistake that a lot of us make, is we start thinking about, well, what happens when? Well, then you deal with it then. You deal with what's in front of you right now. And what's in front of me right now is this major roadblock. And I'm spending as much time and energy as I possibly can on this, because this is the thing that matters the most. This is the thing that if I solve it, that I will get a whole bunch of other problems handed to me, which I'll be grateful for, because that means that I'm growing and that I'm getting closer to my goals. Again, the 1,000. I need 1,000 people to sign up for my group, to believe in what I have, right? To believe in my offer, that I can help them. So I'll just leave you with this. The greatest rewards come from not taking the easy road and solving the problems that most everyone else will give up on. Go out there and crush it.